All right, and we are back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast. And for the final part of the show, we are now going to talk about Yamamoto and what's the update with him. So, obviously, you had Steve Cohen flying out to Japan to talk with him. The Yankees met with him on Monday. The Dodgers met with him too. They had their different tactics. So I'm not because there were different things I saw with the Yankees meeting because I saw that they were going to use they were going to have Tanaka and Matsui there to meet with Yamamoto. So I'm not sure if like that actually happened because then we saw that that wasn't the case. So I don't know. So I'm just seeing will the Yankees include them, but regardless of that, even though that would be the right thing to do because those are two players that were very successful with the Yankees. Obviously, Matsui was the World Series MVP back in 2009, and Tanaka, was a quality starter for them. Pitched in some big games in the postseason. He was a good Yankee, and I miss both of them. Matsui obviously growing up watching him. Tanaka came when I was came over from Japan to the Yankees when I was a teenager. But yeah, both of them were a big part of my Yankee life growing up. And we'll see if Yamamoto will come here, but the Dodgers, they had Ohtani, of course, to help him out. Also, Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts were both in the meeting as well. So it seems like it's going to come down to the Dodgers and the Yankees. And I'm going to be honest, I think he's going to go to the Dodgers. Now, the Yankees feel very confident that they could still get him. And listen, I have confidence that, we're at least going to make a good offer. But I think he's a Dodger. I think he's a Dodger, especially with what came out with Ohtani's deal and how that's, all that money that's getting deferred, and that just opens up, that just opens up the possibility of him going to the Dodgers. The Dodgers are willing to give, whatever he wants to get him, and I think the Yankees are going to get outbid. Now you also got the Mets as well, that are one of the potential teams, but it seems like from what I've been seeing, it seems like the front runners are the Yankees and the Dodgers. Now, who is he going to choose? It's going to probably come down to money, and I did see, as many of you have as well, that he wants to play with other Japanese players. Now, the Yankees had Tanaka and Matsui. The Dodgers have Ohtani right now. So, that combined with the Dodgers having a lot of money and what they did with Ohtani's contract, I think he's going to be a Dodger. And then you'll have him. I think Walker Buehler is going to be back with Glasnow. We'll see what Kershaw decides to do. And suddenly, you look at the Dodgers rotation, and then Ohtani comes back next year. So he'll probably replace Kershaw because it seems like Kershaw. I mean, depending on what Kershaw does. Dodgers got a loaded rotation suddenly, with two Japanese star players at the top. And like I can understand, if Yamamoto wants to go there because at the same time it's like California is a lot closer to Japan than New York is, but maybe he wants to go to New York. I don't know. I mean, listen, Yankees need pitching. Now that's what they got to focus on right now is pitching. Because you have Garrett Cole, and then outside of that, it's a lot of question marks. Like Carlos Rodon, is he going to bounce back? I hope. I got to give him another chance. I mean, you have to. As Yankee fans, you have to. Now, as me being right about him getting hurt, and well, I wasn't right about him getting hurt. When he got hurt, I said he was going to come back and pitch bad, and that's exactly what happened. Now, I didn't base it off of anything. I just said, you know what? He's going to end up pitching bad. And that's exactly what happened. But he can bounce back. He'll You also got Nestor Cortez, who who dealt with injuries last year. If he bounces back, like if he could beat Nestor Cortez from 2022, that's a huge plus for the Yankees. And then but then you traded Michael King, you traded Burrito and Vasquez, so now you're like, you gotta replace those guys, and you also got Clark Schmidt as well. So yeah, the rotation's kind of a little bit of a is a bit of a not a little bit is a question mark outside of Garrett Cole. So that's why the Yankees kind of need another starter. Now, if they don't get Yamamoto, they could pivot to somebody else. They can maybe trade for somebody. We'll see. But I would love to have him. So, but like I said, I think he is. I think he's going to be a Dodger because I feel like the Dodgers kind of have the edge. But the Yankees feel confident that they can get a deal done. So, I mean, or at least they felt confident like with the meeting that they had with him. So I don't know. I really don't I don't know if it's gonna happen, but we'll see. We shall see what ends up happening there. But yeah. So I just wanted to remind you guys again today. So once this show is over at 10 o'clock Eastern time, the GSMC football podcast will follow. That'll be at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. I most likely will go back to where I normally stream. I just wanted to do this just because, I thought, since it was early, I wanted to come down here and at least do it so I don't have, everybody sleeping hearing me talk about, baseball at 9 o'clock in the morning. So and I thought, listen, my brother's not home. He's at school. So I'm like, why don't I just stream down here? I mean, it's a big room. There's a desk to sit at. So, you got the Yankees stuff in the background. So I thought, why not? But yeah, so the baseball podcast will be after that, or football podcast will be after this. So make sure to tune in for that because we got a lot to talk about. Recapping last night's game. We'll get into it because we'll save it for the football podcast. But last night's game, I mean, just wow. And then we will preview, all the games for this weekend because we got 3 tomorrow, and then we got everything else on Sunday and Monday. So, Monday we'll save for when we do Monday's show. But yeah, I mean that's what's going on today, and then of course throughout the day. I'll have the shorts and reposting the show from yesterday, the football show from yesterday. With these two shows, I'll try to have them up. At least like the audio side of them will be posted earlier in the day tomorrow. The other thing is, which actually will help us significantly, is we're trying to work to being able to download the show like pretty much immediately after the show is done, which would help tremendously because I have been like I try to get these shows out the best way I can. Like as soon as like they're ready to be downloaded, which is late at night, I get them like I at least post like I'm trying to post like the audio ones first, and then I get the video ones out. Because obviously we have the live stream up on YouTube, but we do have like a big audience when it comes to audio. So, we want to have the audio like portion of it out as soon as possible. But yeah, I mean, this is like the stuff you got to work through. Because obviously technology isn't the best. There's some hurdles you got to go through, and that's one of them. But and of course, like I mentioned before, we're gonna have some changes coming up, having more shows that'll be on the way, more content, which is really exciting. Like I said, I'll be I'll be making appearances on some of them, so you'll see me there, and you'll see people making appearances on these shows as well. So we got a lot of stuff coming up, but yeah, with the baseball season Spring training is still a couple of months away. We still got some free agents that are still out there to be signed. And then before you know it, it's going to be that season. It's going to be baseball season. It's going to take over because, football is winding down. It's winding down. Only got, this week is underway. But counting this week, you got 4 weeks left in the regular season. Then it's playoffs. And the playoffs fly by, Super Bowl, and that's it. But you also got the national championship, the college football playoff. That's coming up in a couple weeks. So, yeah, before you know it, it's literally just going to be baseball. That's going to be more for the summertime. You're still going to have hockey, you're still going to have basketball, but at least for right now, it's when we get to the summer, that's when it's literally just going to be baseball. So, but yeah. That's pretty much it for the show today. Holidays, we got more holidays coming up next week. Already, started. Obviously, we passed Thanksgiving. We got Hanukkah and Christmas, of course. This month. New Year's after that. It's even the year is winding down already. And I'll tell you right now, probably the fastest year of my life. Seriously, like this year has just flown by. The days just go. Days have gone faster than they've ever have. I'm gonna be honest. But yeah, that's just what happens. So. But like I said, make sure to tune in for the football podcast, which is going to be coming up in a little over a half hour. Make sure to look out for the shorts that I come out with today. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the show for today. Obviously, a lot to discuss. Ohtani getting signed was a big thing. And there's still some free agents that. We're still waiting on. So once that happens, of course, we'll talk about him, next week. But Ohtani, that was Ohtani and Soto. Those are the two guys that, we were really focusing on. The moves have been made. Now, Ohtani is, going to be with the Dodgers for the next 10 years. But actually, there was another thing, too, that I heard that I was watching. So, if there's a change in personnel with the Dodgers, Ohtani can opt out. I think that's what I heard. Now, it wasn't specific as to what that means. So I guess that means if the Dodgers do something that Ohtani doesn't like, he could just easily get out of the contract. I'd have to look that up, but that's something that that's at least something that I saw here watching the simulcast of one of the radio shows here in New York, and I was like, that's interesting. So I don't know. So I guess if Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman are gone or something, and the Dodgers are bad, then he's like, all right, I'm getting out of here. So I don't know. That's just something that I saw. I'd have to look into that more. But yeah, contract's insane. And Dodgers are making moves. They're making more moves, and more moves might be on the way. So, and of course the power rankings that CBS came out with. Not really that many disagreements with it, but maybe you move the Yankees down, possibly you move the Rangers up. The Rangers being at 8, I think they should be closer to the top 5 because they did win the World Series. They beat up on the Rays and the Orioles to get to the World Series. So, but you could also look at they might not bring back Jordan Montgomery, so the rotation might be a little bit weaker, but we'll see. But yeah, with that is all the time that we have for this show at least. Make sure to tune in for the football podcast in about a half hour. So until then, I'm Kenneth Grunfelder signing off from the GSMC baseball podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys shortly. If not, have a good weekend, and I'll see you next time. Take care.